Hi, and welcome to this webinar on how to grow your practice with the W Revenue Workshop. My name is Steve Riley. I am one of the shareholders and practice advisors at Atticus. I get the pleasure of giving you a brief introduction about what the W Revenue Workshop is and how it can help you grow. I really have two goals out of this webinar. Number one is help you evaluate whether or not the W Revenue Workshop is the right fit for you and whether or not you're the right fit for it. And number two is consider if there's any other way that we might be able to support you on your growth goals inside your practice. So the first question we commonly get when we are being introduced to someone who's new is, what is Atticus? Well, ultimately, Atticus is a consulting company that is in the business of helping lawyers build their business. We're celebrating our 25th anniversary, and our focus is on solo and small firms. While we have supporting programs that help other types of firms, our real niche and strength is helping the solo and small firm market. And we do that by helping them increase their gross revenues, their personal incomes, reduce their time off, reduce their stress and help them improve their time off, and ultimately develop a greater sense of career and satisfaction about practicing law. And the types of lawyers that we work with are ultimately, like I said, solo and small firm attorneys. We really have a tremendous amount of support for managing partners and leaders inside of law firms. We work with a lot of associations that are supporting lawyers in growing their practice, whether those might be bar associations or private associations or special niche associations. And we're really there from start to exit. We have everything designed to help a lawyer who's starting the practice to a lawyer who's selling their practice. So that's really the essence of our firm. We currently are working with about 400 law firms today, and I would say collectively over the past 25 years we've worked with over 10,000 lawyers. So we have a tremendous rich experience working with lots of different lawyers in a lot of different areas. So let's talk about the W Revenue Workshop. How does the workshop work? Well, in short, what we've learned over the years is helping our clients grow is somewhat of a challenge. The traditional approach that lawyers will get together and say, let's grow our firm, but they have no real process or method for growth. Other than working harder and doing more of that, they have no real plan for growth, no strategic thought process. They may have a big vision, but without a written plan and strategies to support the written plan, nothing gets done. They just get really excited and move nowhere quickly. And what we've learned is over the time is that the incremental growth for them is probable, it's predictable, but it's small. It's like 5, 10, 15%. It's not really dramatic. It's just incremental and good, but not powerful. So what we did is we took a step back and created a strategic methodology and process to actually help you think through how to grow your plan. And in one day, this workshop is done in one day, you'll leave the workshop with a plan to double your firm's revenue. And what we see is it will create predictable and significant growth in your revenue. And most of the time, and I'll tell you the statistics at the end of this presentation, what we see, but most of the time, we usually have a tremendous result for the lawyers that come through this particular program. So let's talk about an overview of the day. It's pretty straightforward. What we like to do is we like to limit to no more than 25 attorneys. We usually begin the workshop with introductions about who's what and what everybody's from and what type of practice they have. Then we go through what's in the way of growth. Like I said, we've been doing this for 25 years. We're working with 400 firms currently, and there's certain predictable things that are pretty common. Then we talk about key industry trends. What are we seeing impacting the legal industry? And then we introduce a very powerful concept called the strategic pathway. In our experience, there is a strategic pathway to growth. And if you don't know what that pathway is, you have a tendency to fumble, kind of blind in the dark trying to find your way. But we actually lay out what we've seen to be the key pathway for growth inside of law firms. Typically, we'll have lunch together, depending on where the workshop's at and who's all in the workshop. Typically, we have lunch together, and we keep working, so we make the best of it. Then we have a brainstorming sprint session, and we break down the practice into 5 to 12 key strategic leverage points that we focus on. So everything from pricing services to delegation to key growth strategies, we brainstorm and talk about how we can help you, how you can help you grow. We just provide ideas and strategies during the workshop. Then you go through creating an action plan. We call it the W Revenue Action Plan. And after you work with that a little bit, we refine that into what we call the W Revenue Growth Map. And the growth map is really the key. That's the thing that you're going to go home and share with your team, your partners, and whoever's supporting you, the 2 times growth. And then we have you do what we call the CEO exercise, which is looking at and getting feedback from your partners inside the W Revenue Workshop, your colleagues, to see what their feedback is around your growth map. We all know that lawyers are kings and queens of their own fiefdoms. So when they go back to their practice, if no one will tell them, yeah, I don't think that's a great idea. Ideally, you get terrific feedback from your colleagues in the workshop, and we would like to end the workshop typically at 5. And our experience is in one day we can cover all these different topics and have you leave with a very powerful 10-step growth map to grow your practice. Common question we get, have we tested this workshop? We have. We've taught this workshop since 2004. In fact, as Lawyers Weekly followed lawyers that went through this workshop. We are probably over several hundred attorneys. My guess is right now probably about 500 lawyers have attended this workshop over the years. And our experience, the following will occur. 40% of the participants will double the revenue. The quickest anyone's doubled the revenue is in 7 months. The typical solo practitioner will take anywhere between 18 to 24 months. Depending on the size and complexity of your firm, it may take a little bit longer, but our experience, most practitioners will double the revenue. 30% will see a significant double-digit growth, somewhere between 20 to 50%. So they won't see a doubling, but basically they will see a significant growth. So in our experience, about 70% of the lawyers that participate in the workshop will see significant growth. 30% will do nothing. 30% of the participants will do nothing because once they go home, they will make no changes. They'll just go back to doing the practice the way they did before. And our experience is that that's pretty much predictable. About a third of the participants will do absolutely nothing. The other question we also get is, what guarantees do I have? Well, the first guarantee is 100% money-back guarantee. We understand that enrolling into a program of any form where you haven't worked with a company can be a significant time investment and financial investment. So if you don't believe that there was any value created, we'll refund your tuition in full, no question. That's guarantee number 1. Guarantee number 2 is if you think about making change but don't actually make change, nothing will change. It's 100% guaranteed. In my experience, we're a very intellectual group. As lawyers, we like to think about things, we like to discuss things, but we don't like to do much. And so my experience is if you're playing a business game where you're doubling your revenue, thinking rewards nothing. It gives you nothing. Action is where you learn. So the only way that you're really going to get the result is to think, then act. Great. So you may be saying, you know, I don't think the Double Your Revenue workshop is a really good fit for me. What else do you recommend, Steve? Well, if you're not sure what to do, our recommendation is to do what we call a practice diagnostic. And the practice diagnostic usually provides 2 key benefits. Number 1 is it helps you improve your practice in what we call the key 4 cornerstone growth areas. First is marketing and client development. If you don't have a strong marketing and client development skill set, you're never going to grow your practice beyond where it's at. Number 2, you have to improve your time management. Our experience is that if you can improve your time management skills, we can make room for other changes in your practice. Number 3 is staffing and managing your staff. What I mean by that is a lot of us are trained by what we call trial by fire in the legal industry. We don't get any training. But we're trying to recommend to you, if you're going to grow your practice, learning how to hire right, train, and manage will make a significant difference in the quality of your practice and the quality of your life. And then, of course, cash flow and profitability. So the first thing that you'll do is work with a practice advisor on a self-assessment, what we call a practice assessment, on these 4 cornerstone areas. In addition to that, you're going to do a DISC assessment. The DISC assessment is a very powerful look about how you like the world to work. It's really a way to allow you to see what your natural strengths are so that you can focus your strengths in your practice and feel like you're going with your natural strengths versus going against the grain. It's a very, very powerful tool. I could spend all day talking about it, but you just have to experience yourself. What's my investment? The investment for a practice diagnostic is $275, very modest. That also includes the DISC assessment and report and a 1-hour teleconference with one of our advisors, discuss results of what you see and what they see and recommendations that we can do to help you move your practice. The easiest way to sign up for one is to go to atticusadvantage.com and click Let's Get Started. Now, you may say, well, that's not enough. I want more proof. One of the easiest things you can also do is go to our website and check out the testimonials of what our graduates say around what you've gained, what they've gained from the W Revenue Workshop. With that, I want to thank you. If there's anything else you need to hear about us or check us out, by all means, check out our website at atticusadvantage.com. Thank you.